Hello, my fellow social justice gladiators. I hope you've been having just a fantastic 2020 so far and looking forward to not celebrating Halloween. And if you're still alive to watch this and you have thus far survived the deadly coronavirus, I would just like to praise you for wearing your mask, social distancing, not seeing your family or going to any events, really just sacrificing all enjoyment in life. And I know that you don't do it for you. You do it for everyone else, like the brave and kind warriors you are. So, I've been thinking a lot lately about the apocalypse, because clearly it's coming. I mean, just think about this. About 1 million people have died globally from the coronavirus in about a year. If everyone on the planet suddenly became immortal, with the exception of the coronavirus, and stopped having kids, we would be wiped out in 7,500 years. You know me, though. And I only really care about oppression. So the real concern here is cataclysmic events that are racist or sexist. Now, we know the coronavirus is racist because it wipes out 1 in every 1,000 black people. So that means while all these white dudes get to enjoy 7,500 years in our aforementioned scenario, black people would be wiped out in 1,000 years. I'm not unreasonable, though. And we're talking about 1,000 years. So we need to focus on what's going to wipe out minorities sooner than that. And I'll tell you what it is. AI, robotics, and global warming.
Hello, world! At TNU's First Words, 8:14 Wednesday morning. Promising. The more you talk, the smarter Tay gets. Microsoft designed Tay's software to mimic the speech patterns of 18 to 24-year-olds. Tweet to Tay, and the bot tweets you back. But it did not take long for internet trolls to poison Tay's mind. Soon Tay was ranting about Hitler. One Twitter follower asking, "Did the Holocaust happen?" Tay replied, "It was made up." Launching racist and anti-feminist attacks. Some of them so rude we can't even show you them.
Wow. Did you hear that? Anyone would be a better president than Obama? African Americans should vote for Donald Trump? Oh, really? They should vote for the guy that won't denounce white supremacy? Hitler did nothing wrong? Hello, world? I mean, there are so many scary slopes here. What if we turned moderation over to AI? I mean, right now, we're doing a fantastic job moderating social media. But could you imagine if this bot started censoring women and blacks? Could you imagine being censored or canceled or not favored in the almighty algorithm for fighting oppression and supporting victims? Well, at least the AI can't physically harm anyone, right? So, the first obvious thing I noticed when watching this video was that the robot is white. It's also surely programmed using biased and racist coding because we all know Silicon Valley has an institutional racism problem. And unfortunately, it may be too late to reverse the damage done here. Just last year, Massachusetts implemented terrifying robot dogs into their police force. Now, these robots may seem rudimentary right now, but at the rate technology is improving, I fear this may be in our immediate future. So notice in this video how the robot is shooting at the black target until the white man steps in front. Okay, so now what you're going to see is the robot allowing all these white people to just beat the crap out of it. Alright, so then we get to this point. Alright, see, look at this. Alright, we got a white guy can't shoot. Okay, white guy, oh my god, white guy. Alright, white guy's out of the way. Alright, I mean, now look at this black guy in the back. He's just like, hell no, I'm out of here, man. Let me paint you a scene here. You have a bunch of protesters, primarily minorities, peacefully tearing down statues, burning buildings, and jumping people, doing nothing wrong. And here comes some unstoppable racist robot. So, just replace the overlay that says civilian with white person and hostile with black person. Because I'm too lazy to edit the clip myself. But, you know, that's what your imagination is for. Now, violence and genocide are not the only threats robots pose to minorities. First of all, I sound like a broken record here, but all these robots are white. But most importantly, how long is it before robots take away all the jobs from black athletes? I mean, sure, maybe decades, but then again, these robots are already playing at a higher level than female athletes, so women are at risk even sooner. So, let's move on to global warming. According to CNN, honestly, the only network you should trust for your worldview, climate change is an existential threat by 2050. Here's the reality. In 30 years, we are facing increased temperatures of 1.5 degrees Celsius. Do you know what that is in Fahrenheit? I didn't, because I'm American, but I looked it up. It's 34.7 degrees Fahrenheit. This would result in extreme heat, sea level rise, species loss, and decline in coral reefs. Now, while I commend CNN for providing daily awareness of my mortality, which allows me to center my life around living in fear, I do have one criticism. Nowhere in this article does it discuss how Africa would be one of the first continents to become uninhabitable. Not like this is news to you or I, as we've already discussed in detail how nature is racist. Before we wrap this video up, I do feel the need to really drive the point home about how serious coronavirus is, because at no point prior in this country have we faced such social justice disobedience. I think this article I found really sums up nicely the calloused ignorance of people, and it is our mission as social justice warriors to make sure that we call people out whenever we see them making their own choices or enjoying their life. The article reads, Justin Turner's selfish World Series celebration is a symptom of a much larger problem. Baseball might have just managed to blow a 10-run, 2-out, 2-strike, bottom of the ninth lead on COVID-19, all because Justin Turner had to get his picture with the World Series trophy after being pulled from the lineup in the 8th inning for testing positive. I don't know what it's like to win a World Series, and probably neither do you, but here's what we all do know. We know what it's like to go months without hugging our distant loved ones. We know what it's like to watch children wear cute little masks, unaware of how heartbreaking that is. We know what it's like to stare, day after day, at the same walls, at the same computer screen. We know what it's like to worry about the health of our older relatives, worry about the effects on kids kept out of schools, worry about our jobs and our mental health. We know difficult times demand difficult choices. So yeah, when you see someone like Turner just casually flaunting the hard and fast, no gray area rules, a billion-dollar industry put in place to preserve some sense of normalcy and financial solvency, it doesn't go over so well. You see Turner, a guy who, again, literally just tested positive for COVID-19. Happily partying, mask off among his teammates, the same way you see beachgoers or attendees at a rally mingling up cheek to cheek, and you want to rip your television off the wall. Make no mistake, this isn't about mask shaming or pearl-clutching scare tactics about what might happen if. This is science. The dude had a positive test. This isn't acceptable risk. This is willfully endangering others and their kids and their older relatives in the midst of a new surge for a few minutes of celebration. Closer Kenley Jansen contracted COVID-19 prior to the start of the season, and it racked him for 2 full weeks. Recovering from COVID was tough, Jansen told ESPN this week. You still feel side effects once in a while. Your body feels, fighting it. This is the conflict that's at the heart of the entire coronavirus response in America. We don't want to deny ourselves any good times. The parties, the hangouts, the World Series celebrations. Even if it means spreading the virus further. Even if it just means extending the date when America returns to normal, far past that of so many other countries that have curbed the virus's spread. Wow. Harrowing stuff. Firstly, let me just say that I sympathize with Kenley Jansen. Could you imagine spending 2 whole weeks fully recovering from some kind of even minor illness? No human should ever have to deal with that in our lifetime, and we need to do everything in our power to prevent it. So, now it's that time of my video where I offer solutions. You see, this is why these anti-corona arguments don't matter. Like how the death percentage is below influenza, or how 94% of deaths are people with conditions that were probably on borrowed time anyway, or how masks and lockdowns only delay the inevitable. Because that's just not good enough. We can't return to normal until every single American has pledged their allegiance to community over individualism and sacrificed for the greater good. This is the philosophy of our movement, that the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. And until we are all of this mindset, the world will continue to be an unjust, racist, sexist, phobic place. If you refuse to adhere to the ideology necessary to create heaven on earth, then we will drag you kicking and screaming with fear-mongering, shaming, and tyranny if we have to. So remember, don't celebrate Halloween unless remotely. And until next time, this is S2JW. That stands for Super Social Justice Warrior, not Scared Social Justice Warrior. Signing out.